Hello and welcome to MEEC. Tonight we continue on with Overwatch, brought to you by Events DC and Game Gym. It's going to be an awesome night as we see our matchup of the day, which has been changed a little, but it is GMU versus the Mount. It's going to be exciting. My name is JLB casting for today alongside Crumble. What's your thoughts and feelings going in?
Well, I mean, we've got the tied first place against the tied second place. Basically, second and third,
Mhm.
coming into this when we look at the standings here. So definitely going to be some high level plays here coming out from GMU and Mount Overwatch. In terms of what we're most likely to see, we've been seeing a lot, and especially in the high level in Overwatch League, a lot of Zarya has been very prominent. Zarya has a lot
Yeah.
of, uh, lot of damage potential and a lot of flexibility. Also probably a lot of Diva as well. And I feel like Diva, Zarya, Monkey is kind of the central pillars, that triangle that we love to see and that we'll probably will end up seeing a lot of. And one thing, I don't know if you'd agree with me on this, Gio here, but I feel that Overwatch 2, Overwatch 1 was a very tank, directed game. Whichever tanks were good, that was it, really. If you have double shield, the DPS can kind of, to some degree, play whatever. You can play an Ashe, you can play a Hanzo, you can play a Widow, Soldier, anything that kind of, does a lot of consistent damage you can play. But really, in Overwatch 2, I feel that it's more so the DPS that are kind of influencing the style of compositions we're seeing. Sojourn is an extremely mobile character, really good at repositioning. So the current meta, I feel, is repositioning is what it's all about. If you can't reposition quickly, in the mid fight, then you're gonna lose.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I mean, even with the tanks, like they're chosen for their ability to have maximum DPS output while still being able to like sustain and stuff. Of course, with Zarya being able to have two bubbles on themselves or an ally creates a lot of variability with the play, get that charge up high. Although I will say, those main tanks, while they are struggling in the meta at the moment, Monkey, like you mentioned, can be really
Yeah.
strong, especially joined with the Genji who is the
Mm,
king of the meta right now, I would say,
yeah.
because we have seen so many Genji players come out of the
So
woodworks,
many.
like out of the
Yeah.
logs
We
in the
thought there were enough
forest.
already. We thought there were enough already in Overwatch 1. There are way more. They're coming out of their hiding, out of hiding, and you're
Yes.
right. There's a lot of Genji. Dive is, I mean, I think it's really Overwatch at its peak. That fast, really fast, intense compositions that just
Hmm.
fights are over, can be over in a second. But
Hmm.
again, with this kind of new meta of self-sustaining supports, with their new role passive, and with tanks just in general being tankier, I feel that although it is, dive is still very fast, you get a bit more of sustained team fights within the dive, which I think just that varying kind of style of these dive compositions, pretty cool. I mean, sustained
Yeah.
plays in dive in general, pretty awesome. And now the fact that it's kind of more central to the kind of how we see these fights play out a lot of the time is very, very cool. Yeah, Genjis, a lot of Genjis, a lot of Sojins as well. I know there's been a lot of debate about whether Sojourn is a hit scan, if the hit scans, with the flex
Uh-huh.
DPSs. I personally am on team hit scan. I think probably hit scan
Yeah.
as rail shot is her kind of biggest feature.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Yeah, it's a one-shot capability item without a movement penalty for that capability, which really unlocks a lot of play. And of course, at this high level, players have that keen aim. They're going to be able to take up opportunities, and when you're not being penalized for having that one-shot ability, that charged up railgun, it creates a devastating setup for these high-level players. And especially when that overclock ultimate is used, that just creates devastation across the board.
Yeah.
Which is why, I talked about Monkey. I'm going to bring up the subject again. Monkey Bubble's quite strong because Monkey Bubble can block a
Yeah.
lot of that. And yeah, sure, you can eat it up or bubble one person, but the bubble encompasses such a large area that I would say it's quite good against the Sojourn and the Genjis. I think people, you know what? I'm going to say it. People are sleeping on Winston. I don't
Yeah.
think
Okay.
people realize how good Winston can be in this meta.
I think you're right. I think he does have the capabilities of not even just blocking off damage, but singling off enemy squishies. I think he's really good at that because, especially now, I mean, his Winston's combo of jump in, melee, land. damage, all that damage combo. It's even better now. You got an M2. You got a ranged fire, which is awesome. So you jump up, zap them, punch them, land on them. It's great. You got a really nice splash damage there, and then you got that bubble and you encase them, and their Ana goes, well, I can't hit you now. So to be fair though, I feel that Kiriko almost to some degree can exist as a counter dive in a kind of counter like counter dive a lot of the time, because you have that E ability of her. I forget the name all the time.
Action Zuzu.
Protection Zuzu, that's the one. Which just, if it's well timed, especially at this level, you're going to be seeing it well timed here. Is able to, you know, cancel, mitigate a lot of incoming damage that's right about to kill one of your teammates, which is great. And also, the fact that if your teammate is in a dire situation, a lot of the time you'll see these Kirikos just they do the step through the wall, and they put the Zuzu down and just burst out healing to that person. Which,
and of course,
definitely,
yeah, sorry to cut you off. I was just thinking about the capabilities of players, because there's a high skill floor when it comes to Kiriko, because that headshot, there's a 3 times modifier, which is different, of course, from the rest of the cast, apart from Widow, who only gets that ×2. So it's quite severely great when you're always hitting your headshots. Kiriko becomes just an absolute machine of damage, which is great to see. Only really Zen can output that sort of damage previously. But it does require you to be hitting those headshots. Of course, at this level, you're expecting players to, you know, be kind of comfortable with her now. We've had a few weeks with her. At this point, she'll be slotting into her place in the meta. Obviously, more new to competitive the mode, but of course, these players are going to be scrimming, and in scrims, people have been playing Kiriko, preparing for tournaments and such like this one. So, curious to see. And of course, Kitsune Rush is a great ultimate to combine the blade with. If you have an Ana Kiriko and you've used the Nano for, say, the Monkey or the Diva, you still have the Kitsune Rush, and then that just greases the blade's attack speed. So, a very good hero for, like you say, those divey compositions, and I think that's what we will see the most of here. That's my prediction going in, that it'll be a dive matchup.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like we said before, dive's just where out. I mean, apart unless you're playing Circle Royale, then of course you might see some Sigma, you might see some. We've even seen Zen Brig setups at a high level as well, which is big throwback to Overwatch 1. You know, Zen Brig was like the backline of Overwatch 1 at the end of the day. So, you know, you see a bit of that on Circle Royale, and it is nice to be out of the woods of, you know, like second beta wave, area where it's just Junker Queen and it's Jotes all the time. And I'm sure all of you saw Overwatch League at that period of time. It was just Jotes. It was Lucio Brig, it was Genji Sojourn, and it was Junker Queen, and that's all that was being played. To see Junker Queen on Watch Point Gibraltar was something so heartbreaking and heart-wrenching.
Yeah,
it was awful. But now, luckily, we're out of.
I mean,
out of those woods, so
that just shows you how strong Junker Queen was. Of course, got nerfed there on the release
big time.
of Overwatch 2, or early release, judging by how the servers are holding up. But yes, today's matchup will kind of give us a better understanding. It's that week 3 in these regular seasons where you get to see what teams are really going ahead. Right now, the up there. So if GMU come up victorious, then they're going to be looking very good in the standings. But if Mount Overwatch get the dub here, they can kind of prove that maybe early loss was something they're just shaking off the rust, getting forward, getting on that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to like kind of week 3 in these tournaments, you really do start to see teams settling down. You know, that first week is always going to be super intense. Teams are finding their footing. Some teams you think are going to be on a roll, and they're on a roll for the first 2 weeks, and then you get to the third week, and that's when the losing streak starts. So it's, you know, the first couple weeks aren't always too telling, and now we're getting to the point where things are being a bit more solidified. Teams are finding the right compositions, especially now that we're in early Overwatch 2. You know, teams are going to find compositions that they're good at. I also think, even though there is definitely a meta, something that I personally been seeing in my own ranked games, and even a lot of stuff at a high level, because I'm not that really high. Even at a high level as well, is just the variety. It seems that there is a decent variety of composition. I mean, hey, London Spitfire are still strong, playing Ryan Rush on like Colosseo, which is awesome. To see Hardy not have to play Junker Queen, because oh my god, was that painful. Never want to have to see him play Junker Queen again.
I
Yeah.
mean Reinhardt for quite a while. Not at this level,
Up your
but
Reinhardt. Oh.
yes. Aw. But Reinhardt can play well against the Zarya. It's all about the pace of the play, right? You really got to outpace the Zarya because there's a brief moment where you can't get that second bubble up. That's your opportunity, and it is brief. It is very
Yeah.
short, and you really need to chunk as much health down as you can in that moment to follow up with it, burst that second bubble and get the elimination. So it's possible, but you do really need to be quick, which means if the Zarya's team's able to keep the Zarya alive during that, then high charge Zarya versus a hammer. That's a
Oh, yeah,
lot
that's
of
not
health
good.
you're going to be losing. That's a melted Reinhardt right there.
That is a melted Reinhardt. And I do think, especially with Sojourn being so prevalent, that's a lot of spam damage into a shield, which is probably why you don't see a lot of Reinhardt, which is a shame, because I do enjoy Reinhardt as a hero a lot as well, and those rush compositions. But I mean, hey, look, we're still getting some level of rush, and that kind of style of composition. It's just a bit different. And I do think that Reinhardt, maybe at some point, some patches down the line, will work his way into the meta, maybe slightly differently. I do think that in terms of maybe maps in the future, which we might see where some point, maybe we might see some like really wacky maps where like first point is like super spammy and like revolved around spam damage and long range, and then second point is very brawly. So you want that shield for the DPS on first point, but then second point you want something brawly. So maybe Reinhardt starts being played on the map, and then you have him be able to shield. So who knows? It's all up in the air really, because we are very early on in in the meta and in the game. Why are you looking so pensive?
No, I've just
Yeah.
realized Bastion is back in this one.
Yes.
So
Yes.
wait, I'm
Yes.
thinking, could we see the Omnic himself, Bastion, show up in this one? I doubt it, but now that that bug's been cleared up, where you could rain fire from the heavens, maybe even we see teams try it out with the
I
with
hope.
Bastion, because I saw some wacky combs before he got yeeted into the void, so that could be something to look out
He's
for.
not a bad character, honestly. I think he has a place. Like I was saying, I feel like there's not really any apart from like Hog, who desperately needed a rework. There aren't any characters that really stand out to me as not ever being viable. I think Overwatch 2 is definitely, because obviously it's such more of a deathmatchy and more FPS oriented than kind of ability centered than it used to be. There's much more of an element of, yes, there are some characters that are better than others. That's always going to be the case. But if you are really good at like this Bastion, you can make it work. You genuinely can make it work. He has a good kit. I think his M2 is severely underrated. I think it does a lot of good splash damage, and it charges ult really quickly. And I do like his new rework. I think it's viable. Whether you get him see him be played a lot is another question.
Yeah.
But
I
feel like
hopefully the servers are okay for us, because earlier today, Crumble, we had an issue where our friends list was empty, and what we basically had to do was go into the custom game mode and do /invite space and then the player's name, and that worked out because I don't know,
yeah.
Overwatch is weird, but the servers should hopefully hold up for us today. They were a little weird at the start, but hopefully we should be fine.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Please, indie game company, let us play your game. But yes, eventually we'll be getting into this one between the GMU Overwatch Patriots and the Mount Overwatch.
I like that name.
Yeah, Mount
Overwatch.
Overwatch. It gives
Very
you,
inspirational,
it's like
isn't it?
Mount Olympus, I guess, is the inspiration there.
Yeah,
So
possibly.
maybe they will be the Greek gods of Overwatch.
Possibly.
Zeus is in Dota 2, but not really in
Oh.
in Overwatch.
That's fine.
Um,
We can
I don't know
pretend.
if that's a heretic a game to
We can
bring up. I
pretend.
know
You
there's
know,
a League of Legends.
Zeus throws the thunderbolts. So let's just pretend that Orisa is Zeus. That's
You know
that
what?
works. That
I'm down for
works.
that. I'm down
That
for
works.
that. Yeah, yeah,
That works.
yeah. Throws
Yeah,
the
I don't think we're gonna be
thunderbolts.
seeing much Orisa though. I think high level, she is a bit meh.
Yeah,
I don't
she's
know.
like a pub stomper, but not really like a high level, really utilized thing. Because in pubs, you get lots of value out of just pumping healings into your Orisa, and your Orisa never dies and it's just always there. But
Yeah.
in organized play, don't shoot the Orisa, shoot the support.
Yeah,
You
they'll
know,
just
so
go.
like,
They'll just walk right past. So
yeah.
yeah, I do think that Orisa has. Don't get me wrong. I love the rework. I think it's probably my favorite rework. It's just
Hmm.
it's really unique, and I don't think I think it's the best rework that they've ever done. I'll go on record and say that because it's just they gave her great abilities that definitely feel more attuned to. Like she's a horse. Why would she not be charging forward? Why would she stand there and shoot? Makes no sense. So I do really like her rework. But like you said, she's just clunkier compared to other tanks. Yes, you have Reinhardt is similar. He's close range brawler. He's got those cooldowns to use, but then he also now has a really much faster, more controllable charge. So if he wants to get out of a situation, he can. Monkey can jump. Like most of the tanks have a get out of jail free card. Orisa can just live, but she doesn't really have anything to like push over the edge and to she can't really go chase supports. The supports will just run away. She's not very fast. So
Hmm.
yeah, I do think she's cool. She's a cool character, but maybe some buffs we'll see. I imagine that she'll get some buffs in the next patch. I think, because I think she is a bit weak at the moment. So fingers crossed that she gets some buffs because I would like to see her at high level because I think she's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. The comment that Junker Queen should have gotten Orisa's ult, and Orisa should have got Junker Queen's ult. You know, that kind of makes sense because the whole charging thing. I mean, literally, get the horse, get the cow.
Mm,
Charging forward. You can already see it in your mind. She spins a javelin and charges
yeah,
forward. Maybe she doesn't do an anti effect because that doesn't really fit what Orisa does. Maybe it, like pulls them in and like slams at the end or something. I don't know.
it's like a
Um,
cool shatter variant. I don't know. Yeah, I know what you mean though. That would. Do you know what would be cool?
mhm.
Maybe if it like, you know the effect that you get with her spear. Maybe if she charged through and the enemies were knocked back this way and then slammed into the wall like they are with the same stun as the javelin, that would be pretty cool, I
Hmm.
think, because you kind of use that to almost have a similar effect to like Sigma with his displacement of his ultimate. But you also get
Yeah.
possibly a stun from it. So I'm just thinking like Colosseo in the middle bit. That'd be strong. That'd be awesome. It's nice
Hmm.
and tight, and they're guaranteed to hit a wall at that point. But
That
I
would
do
be
I
good.
do
Yeah.
see what people mean about that. I get that. I think I want Orisa to charge forward at the speed of light. I want that. You know.
Yes. Well, it looks like we are in game, and I'm starting to think back, about these players. Right? I was actually 2 weeks ago. I did actually watch GMU,
Oh
and
wow. Yeah.
I'm now remembering some names here. Ebbings is
Oh
an
yeah.
incredible Genji, like
Okay.
next level Genji,
Wow.
and that is really fun to see. Yes, yeah, I remember
Yes.
Anform and Zat. Yeah, okay, I remember these players now. I'm
Okay.
getting a good
Okay.
look at this. It's feeling good.
Like
Of
it should.
course. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe they also pulled out a lot of monkey. So my
Mm.
predictions are looking good.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we love to see it. Yeah, it looks like I think we are going to be moving pretty quickly. We're going to be moving on to our next map here. Pretty
Yes,
quickly
yes.
indeed.
Players are in the lobby now, so we are now just waiting for them to get settled and pick their maps. We'll be getting started anytime soon now, folks.
Anytime
We'll
soon.
be getting into the game. Best of five tonight. So, first to reach 3 points here, free map wins. I'm kind of feeling like this one is going to be close. I'm feeling like I don't know,
Yeah,
something's in the air. I'm trying to
trying to pick it out.
decipher
Yeah,
it, yeah. But yeah, like I think this is gonna be a close one. It's really gonna decide who is the real team to look forward in this league. Of course, there are other teams in the
yeah,
league, but GMU had such a great performance last time that
yeah.
I just know that whatever happens, we're gonna be in for a great ride.
Yes, absolutely. I'm actually intrigued as I feel like something that I've just I know this is a bit out of the blue, but because think about Lijiang, thinking about Control Center a little bit, and obviously Junkrat is a lot of the time a crucial part to that to the compositions played on Control Center. I've heard a lot of different opinions on Junkrat, and I want to get yours, Joe, because I've heard a lot of just completely opposite ends. Some people say he's really strong, that he has a great output of damage, and that I see you shaking your head already. And then some people, I'm guessing you agree,
Yeah.
that he's just a bad pick.
Yeah, no, I don't think Junkrat is the thing. Again, like Orisa, sure you can stomp in those pubs and in your rank games, but when it gets to this level, when you're at collegiate level Overwatch, I just don't think there's any place for Junkrat. Very easily to predict those grenades, you can predict what the Junkrat wants to do. I would be shocked if we see anything in the way of Junkrat, but hey ho, it's a whole new time in Overwatch,
Yeah,
so
it
we'll
is.
we'll see.
Yeah, I believe GMU is just correct me if I'm wrong. GMU is the red team here, I believe. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and Mount Overwatch is the left team. Very nice.
Yes, as you can see on the scoreboard above, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, coming in on Lijiang, what we're expecting to see on this particular map here, Gio.
Well, here's where we'll see what teams kind of prefer because you can play a brawly comp and you can play a divey comp, and it looks like we are seeing a split with what I was talking about before. GMU looking good on those dives as they are currently selected on that Sombra base dive. You'll see Yaxon switch off that Symmetra, that's just to get a TP. And yeah, that Zarya brawl with that Reaper. Oh, that's not what you want from a TP. A bit of a misplacement.
Yeah, possibly. Looks like we're seeing the Zarya composition. That's going to be great for this close range engagements onto the team of GMU. But first bubble already used out. Hacked though is Craptonus.
Oh,
Ibinks on that Sombra, getting that first elim. Sombra is so strong with that damage boost on those hacked targets. Ibinks able to catch two already in this team fight. Amform going to finish that kill off onto Toast. Picks are coming through for GMU. They got that nice damage output. The Sombra, the Kiriko, they got that damage, and they're going to take this first point like it's nothing.
yeah, now it's shockingly apparent to me how we never even had a conversation about Sombra. Sombra is
Yeah.
great right now. Able to hack what invis, very quick hack as well. You see that? Ebbing's utilizing that, and then they all go on that hack target. Very good play.
Yeah, again. Captor on the Kiriko, hacked up again, caught solo, is going to get taken out yet again. Cozy is going to be able to take Ibinks out on this Sombra. They might be able to turn this fight around. Two picks for the side of Mount Overwatch. Can they turn things around? It's just Cozy on the Reaper and Zerial on the Zarya here. Not gonna be able to. Okay, Zerial finds the pick onto Jackson on the
Oh.
Tracer. Strong stuff coming out from here from the Zarya on the side of Mount Overwatch, but it's just not gonna be enough. Ibinks on the Sombra is just too much for them to handle right now, and
I'm
they're gonna be able to clean
telling
this
you.
fight up quickly. 40% on the board.
I'm telling you, the Sombra's so strong. You get that extra attack from Sombra's own Uzi there. And of course, if you were communicating, they just collapse on them here. They've got this pulse bomb going in, but they also have to. Oh, here comes Kitsune Rush.
Considering a rush coming out here from GMU, the damage is coming through Pulse Bomb as well, trying to find some amount of space here. Right is going to be pushing so far into this choke here. The grab does come out though. Right, not able to find the eat there. Zero takes advantage of their full positioning. They're able to push in a little bit here. Moses finds the opening pick. It is an even trade here. Although Moses does fall here. GMU holding a nice defensive position. Bomb coming out. Able to find Toast and it's even kills here. But Yaks on the Tracer on the side of GMU is going to be turning this fight around. Because he just manages to get that health pack there. But he's going to be, killed by Ibinks here. DPS on the side of GMU really holding things together.
Yeah, these fights are lasting long, but it is going the way of GMU right now. Especially right now, they have this EMP from Ibinx. That's the thing to really look out for here in this next fight. If they utilize it well enough, it will be the end of this map.
The touch comes out, but Yaxon shows us the tracer differential. The beat comes down, perfectly timed, able to sustain them through this fight.
Ooh,
Right in your foot, right in your face. I just realized,
outstanding.
yeah, right in your face is gonna absolutely tear through. Is that 4K or maybe even a 5K from the D.Va on the side of GMU? Fantastic damage, and that's 100-0, Geo.
Yeah, and going forward for the rest of Lijiang, that's going to be very nicely done. Very one-sided here so far. GMU playing that to a T. And I mentioned it a few times, I really want to emphasize getting that hack off. They all collapse on the target, and that means all of them. Literally everyone in their
Yeah.
comp is designed to be able to go in. Of course, the Kariko can come in, protection Suzu to keep themselves alive, or another teammate need TP away if they need it. Very great stuff. And right in your face as well is living up to that name with the shotguns of D.Va. And going
Yeah.
to be a little swap onto Moira here, but what's the one thing that Moira has that right in your face can completely disable?
Yeah, that orb. Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Captain Queenus to actually find any value there. The hack already coming out from Moses. Jackson is completely depleted of all their health. The Sombra on the other side is just going to come out from nowhere and just absolute differential that. The DPS on the side of Mount Overwatch able to find the picks to secure this fight. Cozy going in deep on Genji. Right in your face, hacked up as well. Possibly a bit of a stagger coming out here onto the D.Va.
Yeah, I
Actually,
do. Oh, yes, there is the stagger.
oh no, never mind.
I'm gonna be quick with it, but I do like the swap onto the Genji. Talked about that character a lot. It does allow them a lot of capability, and comboing it with Moses, who is already 64% to that EMP, is actually outshining Ibinx right now for the brief moment. And in this defense, they're looking good. They're coming up to that beat. No real ultimates yet in this upcoming fight, but it is going to be these EMPs. Which one can build it first?
Yeah, Ebinx is going to try even things out. Already at 80%, but Moses is charging it nice and quick. Having this duel with Yaxon here. It's going to get them the damage they need in order to secure the EMP. Already at 91%, but Zappa
Oh,
is going to say, what? Sombra duel? How about this Lucio duel that he's going to absolutely tear into the other Lucio and win that? Jackson catching Moses very low there. There's the EMP from Ibinx.
ooh.
Moses was too distracted by the tracer on the side of GMU and able to find a lovely EMP there. The bomb comes out from right in your face. Gets a remake onto Cozy. 0 on Cozy though. Able to find a couple picks, possibly to turn things around. No, Moses is going to be the only one left on point here. And yeah, right in your face
Yeah.
on D.Va, living up to that name, getting the Eliums and secure the point, but 61% on the board for Mount Overwatch. They're looking good here.
Yeah. Long fight, which is good for the side who had the control of the point, which of course was Mount Overwatch, but very nicely decided there to utilize those ultimates in a fight where they were down players, allowed them to get back in it. Moses still with this EMP. That's going to be the key thing moving forward. Kitsune Rush comes out from Anform. Woo!
Yeah, there's the bomb as well. Doing a lot of damage here. Moses has used that EMP. Ryan Fellis is demeched here though, so they don't have a lot of frontline damage able to be used. They're all taking a lot of damage here. And the remake comes through. Beat from both Lucios though, as well as the blade from Cozy. Can he find anything? He's hacked up. He's low, but gets bubbled by Zarya. Still not able to find any picks here. The fight is long. And that's going to be due to Captor and Anform keeping these fights alive. The flex supports on either side. Ryan Face is going to get hacked up, but does manage to find the pick onto Cozy on the Genji. And it looks like damage is going in the way of GMU. No bubbles left for Zero as he falls to the hands of Ibinx. And it's only 3 on point now for Mount Overwatch as we're ticking closer to the 99% mark, Geo. And things are looking great here for Mount Overwatch.
They are able to switch over that point during that fight was a huge decision for them because now they've got that 99% there on the board. They can take their time to build up those ultimates. They did invest a blade to stay in that one, but they are coming up to this Graviton Surge and EMP. Ebbingstow with the EMP already ahead of Moses. It's all down to who takes the advantage here, takes the aggression into their own hands.
yeah, if GMU, play this too defensively, they could get absolutely run over here. On the defense, there's the EMP coming out from GMU. Catches Zero and Cozy. Zero has this grab if he wants to use it. Right in your face is going to get caught solo. They want to bait out this mech or the EMP. The EMP does come out here, though, from Moses here. But GMU are holding things strong. They got that mechanical skill under their belt. They're going to use that Cassini Rush just to hold things out and just to be able to clear out everyone on the side of Mount Overwatch off at the point. They got 78% and counting in their name. And Mount Overwatch, they need to do something quick, or otherwise they're going to find themselves having lost the first map.
Yeah, they're going to swap over there onto the Monkey and to the Tracer. They invested a lot of key ultimates there, but able to hold in where the defenders... This is the final fight now. Captain Aquinas coming out there, but taken out by Anform.
Yeah, flex support, absolute differential here coming out. That's a lot of sustained gun from this fight. And Toast, he almost has the beat, but he's been hacked up. He's been taken out by Jackson and by Right in Your Face, and now will be GMU taking the first map. Nice. I gotta say, Ibank, the Sombra on the side of, Ibank, sorry. That last hack really secured it in my eyes, because Toast was so close to that beat, and just because that hack wasn't able to pull it off, that could have been a map-winning beat right there. But great stuff coming out from GMU. Really nice to see.
Yeah, so far. What we saw there was this isn't going to be a one-sided affair. The real thing that we got to see there was that in those fights, when it comes to tooth and nail, it will still be able to be brought back by GMU, because it was looking very much on the side of MSMU there, but not so much. GMU holding it in, like you say, with some very crucial individual plays like the hacks onto the Lucio. Very nicely done. As we move on now, this is 1-0 for the GMU, best of 5 in tonight's bout. And we will be heading over to the streets of London for King's Row, which does actually suit the playstyle of MSMU a little bit more, at least judging from what we've seen.
Yeah, they are tending to play these brawly compositions a little bit more. They're liking that Zarya, which definitely in that close quarter range is going to dominate the D.Va. The D.Va really depends on the high ground and spaces to move to. And especially when it's something so point dependent, like payload. And those fights are going to be occurring on point all the time in that low ground, close proximity spaces. Zarya's probably going to come out on top. I mean, the only really thing that D.Va has over the top is maybe D.Va can find a eat on the grab, but other than that, you can't eat the left click, the beam. So that's going to be a lot of scary damage coming in for GMU here. Because like you said, King's Row is definitely going to suit the style of MSMU quite nicely here. I think you're right. They can do a lot of good things here on King's Row.
Yeah, definitely. And that's you got to kind of think about how these players played in those like key moments there. In those fights where adrenaline's high, and MSMU, to their credit, were able to sneak in there, maybe get a point switch, maybe sneak it up to that 99%. So there maybe is like a focus thing here. GMU have definitely, at the moment, from what we've seen, got the team play, got the individual skill set as well, but maybe a lack of focus in some of those garden fights, allowing an opening for MSMU. And well, now we get to see what they're like on the Zarya comp, as they will be attacking here first. And looks like they have debated me.
Yep, absolutely, and undoubtedly. I do think that they're probably expecting to see this Zarya comp coming out from MSMU. So possibly they might be looking to just completely bypass that Zarya, looking for a dive, possibly onto the supports and the squishies, which definitely is a good strategy here for Right in Your Face. He wants to get right in the face of the squishies on the side of GMU. That could be interesting. Okay.
And you've been debated.
I've been debated as well. Great.
All the way back to my initial talking point of Zarya.
Yeah.
which is going to allow Ibbings to go a little bit deep for a moment. Get that bubble and no need to deflect yet. That is something that's going to enable Ibbings, if that's the way that they are going to play here. It's a very hokey dive comp, sorry, a brawl comp. It's not as brawly as the defense here. We have that Sombra.
Ibbings gets packed up, but the bubble is there. Nice dashes away as well. Next now almost goes to the high ground position taken. Nicely like on the and Ibbings is looking to be singled out. His focus fire is apparently all of a sudden working really nicely in the favor here from MSMU. As they're getting these back targets up and he's doing a great job following up here. Look at Zero walking in.
Yeah.
You have the immortality
charge. Yeah, looking at pushing in all these stairs here, and it's so much damage, but they're holding in. They're able to hold in so much because of Anform here on the Baptiste, keeping them healed up, and that's what's won them this fight.
Yeah, no, Anform on this Baptiste, that sustained, just to be able to hold up there. And, the fight going really. This is going to be really what turns this fight around for them. They are now going to be able to get this first cap here. Really nice line back so far. 5 minutes on the bottom there. This first one we had. And Anform's already got this window, which I think we expected to see just purely from purely from that fight on the stairs.
Graviton Surge is ready, coming up with the animated trying to stop this push, which is working out well for them, but that grab's going to be big enough. Moses getting the final onto right in your face, and that's going to be all the cheap work for that fight.
Yeah, Zero does get taken out, so possibly with this dragon hit for GMU, they might be able to come through here and quickly regroup and take the advantage that they do not have that tank. But Moses looks to be setting up here for an EMP. And, it looks like MSMU are regrouping as coming out in this fight.
EMP is going to be the big thing for Moses here. Sapphire with this tweet. Good counter you see coming in with the bubble Ibbings. And it's a 4-man EMP.
EMP comes out. He's though, he's used by Zappa. Really, really nice beat here in order to stop the EMP. They definitely saw it coming. Seeing Rush this game, so trying to take onto Jackson. He's closing Trojan here. They're keeping it nice and cozy and tight here, but I think he's going to be able to try and take one from Moses. Now grip onto that Tracer, got the pulse and ready to go. Cozy does manage to find that pick though. Anform able to find a pick onto Cozy. Tracer coming through from either side, so it looks like GMU are able to take things into their hands. It just looks like they got that really raw mechanical skill to bring these fights on in their favor.
Yeah. You see that though, the game sense really could save them a lot there. Zappa with the no onto that EMP, getting that beat was very nice. As they push forward here, Anform coming up this Ant Matrix can lock them off from getting to the point. If it's built fast enough, you see Zerial having a lot of issue getting back, but it's overclocked there from Jackson.
So much space, you can see how scared Toast is. He can Jackson by the pick! Toast is trying to hide there, didn't manage to get out. They get on the Trojan. Moses is trying to do their best, hacking up right in the face there on the Aria. You're actually finding 4 in this fight. Yeah, great stuff. 4-minute time bank coming to the third point. That is what you want to see from GMU. They've got a lot of momentum moving in here. And it's going to be very difficult for the first team to stop this man.
Yeah, right in your face has this ult, this Graviton Surge a little sooner than Zerial. Going to be looking to utilize that early in this fight, I believe. And there's a nice pick onto Moses. It's a disaster for the defense.
Yeah, just absolute classic aggression coming out here from GMU here, just like we expected. Right in your face and getting right in their face, really. And the grab available here, possibly looking to. Oh wow, okay, Cozy coming out with a great opening pick here. Taken out by Anform. Yeah, I was about to say.
The grab,
Graviton Surge possibly going to be used to disable the touch, and that's exactly what they used.
Score.
Yeah, very smart play there from right in your face. I feel like I've said it way too much, but grabbing right in their face.
Yep.
I mean, come on. When you set me up like this, I mean,
it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there. The grab is
right there.
Right there. Yes, very nicely done there by GMU. Played that nicely. You saw that on the third point. You could set up Yaxin on that high ground, basically completely uncontested in the center there. That's how they're able to get that initial pick that crumbled the defense, pardon my pun. Yes, yeah, right now they've got the tempo differential here. They're just moving forward here with such authority. But now is the time for Mount Overwatch to show us why they are the mountain that looks over all, why they can peak above all.
Very, very nice.
Yes, it's been a while since I did geology or
geology
or geography. Oh yeah, geography. How did I even remember?
I remember your name.
It's in my name.
Yeah, almost identical concept is going to be coming out here. Moses seems to be getting in a groove. Sombra, possibly going to see that now. I think just an opening. Okay,
You weren't that wrong.
getting its value here. Takes Jackson's head right off, and they're able to push themselves onto point. I think so, going to even out.
Yeah, nice and even fight going on here. Still in the way of the attacking team. They are a little closer here in terms of their respawns. They do need to check everything. So on that flank, as they kind of sustain here for a moment, but these Zarus getting high in charge. Zariel's health goes dangerously low. Needs to get the immortality.
That's why you want the back piece here. Looks like we might be looking for a rotation. They don't know who to look at as they're getting a huge amount of damage sheltered in their faces by the opponent. GMU. Campion's gonna fall low. Stops up by Handful. And who's gonna absolutely delete Cozy from the right there. And now with this pick onto the Sojourn, there's a lot of damage negated here. And they're able to hold things out evenly. And the winner comes out though from GMU, but grab from 2 already. Ooh.
That has actually kind of nullified the grab enough that he can come back into this fight here. It's been such a long extended fight, but there goes the melting of the attacking team. That play from Anform saved that defense to have that window up. That's why they were so scared to push forward and follow up with the grab. And it was only after they backed up they were like, no, we need to follow up. This is our win condition. So very nicely played. Speaking of win condition, right in the face does have this grab. Everything's close to played, but they're probably going to grab without it anyway.
Yeah, I imagine that when right in the face, he's grabbed. With the kind of button. Go for it. There's the speed in. Grab the Zerial and the Lucio. It looks like people just come out here. Both support ultimates are available. They can have this fight going if they want to. They have to sustain it. No immortality. I imagine they want to kind of pull this out just a little bit. Keep the fight going. Sustain it a little bit. Get that land back, which they definitely have by now. And yeah, they do have the advantage of the support ultimates. Moses now onto Valorant. Bit of an interesting one.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but the other Shimada's the one to look out for. Pulls out the blade, it's very low. Open goes, grabbing so deep. Zerial though has some epic. That's going to be a huge play here for the attacking team, but Yaxon left that overclock so precise. Railgun, it's nasty here. And the defense, and they're holding it strong.
Yeah, when you have these high-level Sojourns using their overclocks, they're going to hit the shots. Right? A lot of the time, lower level, Sojourns, lower ranked Sojourns, they're not able to hit these shots. But when you get to this level, Overclock is a fantastic ultimate because they can just hit all these shots nicely. And it was nice to see Yaxon bailing out their fellow DPS here.
Yeah, right now, level 100 charge here for right in your face, but Zerial has the grab. Maybe they know it, they're forcing it out. The immortality field comes out to save it, and there is the graviton surge.
The B comes out in order to sustain the fight here. I think's finding a beautiful headshot pick onto Moses there. And yeah, Capita not able to do much there on the Baptiste. Really, really nice there. They pressured Zero as much as possible to use that grab, and they just immediately beat it and completely negate it.
Yeah, this is looking real tough for the attacking team. in terms of ultimates, we're only really coming up to Dragon, and for the Graph to hold it down, it's going to be tough to get too much value from it, because they're staring down the barrel of right in your face who's got this Graviton Surge. We've seen what they can do with it. Even if they get one pick with it, this could be bad. It's final fight territory.
The touch comes through from Zerial on this Zari here. Gets a great pick, but there's the grab. Immortality Field is supplied here by Captain Quinnus. And the picks are coming through. The DPS on the side of SMSU are going to be able to find that value. Zerial doing so much work on this Zarya. They're high charge. They're able to find those picks.
Yeah,
Jackson
so well done. I really want to say it was the Baptiste there, Cataquanis, who stepped up onto that high ground there and saved that grab with that Immortality Field out of the fight, uncontested, able to just keep pumping that healing in. And in that moment, heal botting was the answer. That's what got them through the tyranny of the defense. Now they're starting to roll, not with the time bank the size of GMU, but they're getting this rolling, and maybe this is the momentum they need to start to pick up, more of a consistent win rate. They've got these DPS ults are coming up to the support ults. It's looking good for them.
Yeah, you're right. They do have the resources here to be able to go a bit more aggressive. Zero already finding a bit of trouble there. The dragon comes out in order to ward them off a point. It's a big dragon. Nice headshot to Zappa as well. Moses marking their name on the Hanzo here. Haven't seen much of them on it so far, but they're doing a great edit so far. The beat comes out in order to negate the beat. Zero's going to kick them out there. Jackson just found the differential onto Cozy, and there are ultimates online here for GMU, but they don't want to commit in this fight. And that's going to allow SMSU to just push this card a little more.
Never mind the Red Sea. Never mind the Red Sea. It was the streets of King's Road that Moses parted. This time with two dragons twirling together. But that was a nice headshot there that opened that for them. And they're looking even better here. Utilize the beat to counteract Epic's blades. That's very nice from them. They've got this Graviton Surge though. And if you combine that with the Amp Matrix, it can be very lethal. Even without the Amp Matrix, it can be lethal.
Yeah, Zero's really looking for it. Captain Queen is getting caught. Reload for Cozy. Absolutely bails them out, catching the Ibings through the window on the other side. Just pokes their little toes out onto the other side of the little railing there just to get the kill on them. God, that is a strong ult pairing, isn't it, Gio? You just can... One body shot, and it's a hit scan as well. One body shot charged up, and you can finish them nice and quickly. Really good momentum, I think, coming in here from Mount Overwatch. And Cozy is absolutely killing it on social.
Yeah, we've been bigging up Jackson, but it's time to big up Cozy on that railgun there, looking very nice with it. Really won that fight out with that Amp Matrix to boot. They still have this Graviton Surge, which is very good for them. Moses not yet with another dragon, though. That'd be very nice to clean it up. So they do need to have a well-placed grab, but here comes an overclock from Jackson.
Yeah, Amp speed comes out from Toast, just trying to keep his team from... feeding too much ult charge from the enemies. Jackson able to find a couple picks there, but Moses evens it out. The respawns are coming through as well here from Mount Overwatch. It's going to be able to take complete advantage of that pick there. Bubble comes through to help Ibinks with that dive. Grab also comes out to right in your face, but the beat from Zappa and the counter grab. There's only so much that a lamp can do as Toast gets caught so low. Ibing's in the back line trying to make the most of this Graviton Surge, trying to get some follow-up. Jackson finds a pick onto Zero. There's the front line. Full Mount Overwatch completely gone. Toast is going to be eliminated as well. No speed, no Zarya. They're left out in the open as just Moses, Cozy, and Captain Queenos. They have to back off. They have to regroup. They have to take this as possibly the last fight on King's Row.
Yeah, it's gonna have to come up big here. There's a lot of eyes are on this Amp Matrix and Dragon. If Toast can build up that beat, that'd be great, but not in time for Ebbings. Ebbings has this blade. This blade is going to be huge here from Ebbings as they're in the back line. Here comes the Amp Matrix, but the blade has been drawn.
No, Moses took him out. Moses took him out and then also fires that Dragon Strike to ward them away. Moses on the Hanzo doing absolute crazy stuff here, really creating miracles on the Hanzo. Toast also has this beat in order to sustain the team fight. And if you look at the ult banks, GMU have nothing coming into this next fight. It might possibly be able to charge a overclock, but I don't really think it's going to be possible. And Cozy's close to his. We've seen what Cozy can do with their overclock. And Moses already finding Anform so quickly, Gio.
Outstanding accuracy there from the bowman himself. Moses is really stepping up this
No way.
fight. Now it's Cozy's time to shine with this overclock, forcing out Yaxin into a bad position. Zappa is actually going to boot Toast off the map there, but Zerial finding right in your face. They
my
are actually going to
God.
get this car to the end of King's Row.
Moses!
And you know
Oh
what?
my.
While they might not have got themselves another attack, that's just how hybrid works. They will be able to try and draw this one out. And yeah, it's not flashy, it's not fancy. No one loves a draw. It's the ultimate compromise. But if they get the draw here, that could maybe pull things back into their momentum, start to vibe with them there. So GMU, they do have a lot of time to be fair to only get one tick. So
Yeah.
it's Helm's Deep right now for Mountain Overwatch.
Well, I feel that if that last, that last second half of the Kings Row really showed us anything, is that Mount Overwatch might start to be leaning into having Moses on this Hanzo, a bit more of a spam angle here, and that can really work in nicely with Cozy and with Captain Quinas. Zerial and Toast, though, I feel like will possibly get singled out though if they're looking to play a more spam DPS lineup like this. Zero doesn't really have a target like a Genji, or a Sombra or a Tracer or a Reaper, who can get them that ult charge when penetrating the backline of the other team. So it's going to be difficult for Zerial and Toast possibly, because we've kind of got two separate compositions here. But hopefully they'll be able to make it work. It's I mean, if that last point showed us anything, it showed us that these picks here are really what they're good at.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to see more Moses on this Hanzo. I would pay to see Moses on this Hanzo.
Oh yeah.
But Ebbings always there with the Blade, Yaxin. Such a good DPS lineup for the side of GMU. But gotta say, Moses and Cozy are holding their own despite that. On this high ground, teeing off for the moment. Ebbings is already at 35% to this Blade, though, and that's getting scary.
Oh, Lamp has to be baited out very early. Zero getting caught very low. Ibbings is already there. Deflect used in order to keep himself alive. Gonna take out Cozy so quickly. And they're able to come out of a split angle here. Use the high ground to their advantage. Use the wall climb and the wall ride here from the Lucian and the Genji to their advantage. Toast is having to come out here with the touch. Zero trying to hold things together as well. And although Zero did charge up that grab very nice and quick, it's just going to be that, that raw, just damage power from GMU that gets them the win on Kings Row.
Yeah, that was a good match there between these teams. And, while, yes, big time back from the GMU, they were looking very strong. Gotta say, Mount Overwatch, they kept in it, they kept going. That's the heart you love to see in these players to keep moving forward. That's how winning is done, etc., etc. But, GMU looking very, very on peak. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. A continuing motion of upwards.
Yeah.
That's not what I was trying to say there from GMU. So I gotta say, I'm loving this matchup, but GMU, they're looking so strong right now that, I don't even know if any team in this league can really stop them, because if they come out with the win here as even a clean as win as a 3-0, because it is now match point, right?
Yeah.
This is do or die for the side of Mountain Overwatch, because if they lose the next match, it's over. It needs to be a reverse sweep here for Mountain Overwatch. So GMU, they're looking like they're going to take this 3-0 and get themselves a similar setup in the standings, which would take them to 3-0 and secure them that spot in the number one of the standings. So GMU, yeah, don't take your eyes off them. That's what I'm saying, Crumple.
Yeah, no, they're looking a little bit scary here, for sure. Yeah, no, if they do get the 3-0, I think that is setting a precedent for the kind of team that they are, and the kind of aggression and just the dominance that they are going to be showing in this tourney, and in these series of matches that are going to be presented to us. I do got to say though, like you said, I mean, look, you always got to root someone out for the underdogs.
Yep.
Man Oasis are doing a good job. It's not like they're not doing well. I it's a shame what happened. I don't think that was the right place to hold on the defense on Kings Row. When you have
Well,
characters like the
yeah.
Genji, or maybe they possibly looked at rotating early, just because Ibinks was just there on the coming up from the side with their Lucio as well, and it was just
Yeah.
it's just
I, thi-
getting
I
yeah
think the
it's like that.
idea was to play into Moses and to play into Cozy,
Yeah,
allow them to stay back and get those sniping positions. Although, you can never account for Ibbings.
no,
Absolute predator on the Genji. Just, you can never expect the sort of damage to be outputted. I think I mentioned it. Even before the fight had fully begun, just in the poking stage, got to about 35% of the blade. So even if Ibixon got that initial elimination that they got, that was going to be a very quick blade built there.
yeah. How much
And
percentage was that? Like 60, 70?
by the
In
end, I don't know. I can't quite recall, but it was looking good. But ultimately, it was that pick, which meant once they forced them onto point, it was a 4v5, and the rest is history. I mean, to hold in for that long anyway, it's an impossible task. But I liked the attempt there from from Mount Overwatch to try and play into their snipers.
yeah.
Now, I've said the word snipers
Snipers.
crumble,
Yeah.
and we're on Circuit Royale. Let's talk about that one.
Yes. I mean, look, Circle Royale is kind of the sniper map. Moses is going to have a fantastic time here on Hanzo, which I imagine is the pick they're going to play. This also allows Zero maybe to flex to another pick, which maybe they're more comfortable on. It looks like Zero's going to be coming out on that Sigma. And they're actually going to go for Moses on a pocketed Ashe, which is really interesting. You don't really
Oh,
see a lot of Ashe at the moment. It's not really a pick that is kind of too present.
I like it.
Um, yeah, I like it
Well,
as
do I
well.
like it? I don't know.
I like
I
it. I
mean,
think having to sacrifice. I think it's really not viable without the Mercy. So having to sacrifice an entire support for that pocket is
well, the
maybe a
Mercy
bit
kind of fits
detrimental.
into this anyway because they're going
Yeah.
for that poke. This is one of the maps where you see Sigma coming out a lot, and you see
Yeah, Mercy
Zerial
can
there
enable
on the
all the
Sigma.
all the heroes on this roster at the moment. Even the Baptiste,
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, toast 5Ks. That's what I want to see.
Interesting placement of the Sigma at the moment, though.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
low
As they're
ground.
kind of, yeah, I think kind of trying to bait them over to that side. I mean, all
On a
the
Zen.
snipers
On a Zen from
utilize.
GMU. Lots of
That's
long-range
curious.
kills they're looking for, I think.
Yeah, it's going to allow that Discord orb as well. That's a very devastating thing when you're all targeting a single target. You see Ebbings with that bubble is so deadly.
Yeah, and when you have that nano coming up from Anform, possibly going to be used on Ibinks, that is a scary prospect if you are Mount Overwatch right now. Coming again with that bubble, but the peel is really there. And they're able to keep
Oof.
him alive on that Baptiste. Yeah, Zero is going to be taken out nice and swiftly, finished off by that headshot by Jackson. He's got to be careful here, Toast. Jumping up, maybe not the best option. Caught very low. Right in your face is going to peek around the corner, get the finish on that. Yeah, that is a lot of aggression coming in here from GMU.
Yeah.
Not something you really can combat at close range with their composition.
I mean, it was a nice slow rotation from them, which took the tension of the Sigma away. As soon as that tension was taken, they followed up on that space, even to this point where they're still kind of pushing them. A lot of this map is going to be in that poke stage. It's very pokey comps, even with Ibbings on this Genji, who is going to have Blade going forward and form very close to this Nano. I don't think there was a true retouch, but maybe they do pull out the Nano Blade here.
Yeah, here comes just a dry blade. Okay. Yeah, Ibbings is just
And
gonna
Form had died, yeah.
try dry blade. I don't think that was really the right call here, but right in your face seems to be trying to even things out here. Moses so low, and yeah, I don't think that. I think that's kind of the fault of Ibbings, but I mean, just the right in your face just completely carrying that team fight to victory.
No, it was going to be a
It
Nano
was face
Blade,
making.
but Anform had been eliminated, so could
Oh,
not
you're right. Yeah,
couldn't finish up getting the Nano and couldn't get that Nano off. So
true.
it was a very crucial elimination for the defense, and that's what kind of really mucked up the attacking team there. But in the end, they did get it. Lots of stall there for the defenders, which is good. They do have this flux coming up from Zerial. which can be very crucial.
Yeah, here's the Flux coming out onto right in your face. Got the bubble though, able to get some nice charge off of that, and from still that nano, ready to go. Probably gonna be used onto right in your face right now. Lots of damage here. Window out here to try and negate
Oh,
this graviton surge right in your face, getting caught very, very low. Gonna be taken out by Moses. We're gonna see that
yeah.
ultimate used by Cozy. Res coming out. Great movement here by Captain Quintus to try to keep this fight alive on Mercy.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
think they're gonna be
pinch
able to
myself
barely
there,
hold this.
Crumble, because I got some deja vu. A graviton surge completely nullified by an amp
Yeah.
matrix. It happened the other way round in King's Row, and now we have seen it happen to GMU. So these
Okay,
Baptists
yeah,
getting a
that's
lot done with it. And I like this switch, yeah, not getting too much done with the Mercy. And that means that Discord orb is giving everyone an increased damage. Sure, only to one target, but if you're target calling correctly, that is going to help you. Anyway, Bob is ready here to control the point.
oh,
Might not need it though.
okay. No, nice space making though. I think they want to take control of this high ground. They do have inherently a much more spammier composition. Because you know, Amform obviously still on that Ana. We've got Irbinks on that Genji. Yeah, nice picks coming through here from Cozy on the side of Man Overwatch, and they're able to take the tide of this, which means they get the funny high ground where they can hold these sniper angles, which is really what this map is all about, and this is why you want to
Yeah.
set up the snipers on defense. And now it's just going to be a duel of who can get that first really nice and clean shot. That's going to be what it's all about.
Yeah, and you can poke through the gaps there and the signs as well, and really surprise people. But nice shield placement here from In Your Face to get their team into this position. You see a fully charged railgun ready to go, but it is displayed. Nano's ready for it. Look out for Ibbinks.
Hemmings is going to come through with this blade any moment now. Any moment now. There it is. There's the nano. He finds Toast. Oh, he finds another.
There we
Backline deleted.
go.
Moses goes as well. That's a fight-winning nano blade right there. Yeah, that's what you get with the blade. That's why Genji is so strong. I mean, we saw what like a good Genji like Ibbings can do with a dry blade. When you add a nano into the mix. Oh, oh wow.
Oh,
Okay,
what
sorry,
a shot from
that was
Jackson.
great,
You
yeah.
gotta love it.
Okay.
So
God
deadly
damn.
accurate. That's what I was talking about before the start of today's broadcast. It's this ability to one shot without a movement penalty. And these players who are so incredibly accurate on hit scan, even, the main priority is, of course, that getting that one shot without the movement penalty. Very good. Big Flux coming in here from right in your face. Gonna hold in though,
Oh.
especially with that Transcendence.
Yeah, Transcendence coming out here from Captain Quintus. Not going to be able to really keep them in this fight at all as the picks come through from GMU. Zero in the backline. Gets melee to death by Ibbings. Unfortunate. Yeah, Anform now on this Baptiste. Looks like they do want a bit more of a spammier kind of composition here. Because I think they can just trust Ibbings with these dry blades. The Nano Blade is great here. But, I mean, they don't really need the nano. And now they have a bit more of a spammy composition for this long sightlines on the third point. And Anform's able to kind of, I think, kite back to the high ground if he needs to as well, which is really, really vital here. You don't want to be stuck on the low ground as Ana. But here comes a winner from Toast. Hopefully they'll be able to find some space with it.
Yeah, and that Matrix on the high ground will be very key for the defenders here for this moment. They have had to use this immortality field, which does mean that Yaxin, if they go on a flank or something and get a good overclock,
Ooh.
nothing can really help it, but Cozy's pulled their overclock first.
Yeah, 2 already for the man. Thank you very much. Taking out Ibbings. Ibbings can maybe get a bit too overzealous there, but Cozy gets taken out by Yaxin. Gets the differential in there. Yaxin finding it equal. Yeah, completely turning around here for the side of GMU. Zero's going to find a nice pick here. But, oh my god, Yaxin is finding all the picks in this team fight. He's looking
Yeah,
for
you gotta love it. Really coming up big for the side of GMU. Such a
he found
crucial
you.
player here.
You can't
Oh,
hide.
but the Zen
Oh, the
can't
brute.
kick you off, yeah. The big kick there, but Ebbings will find
Yeah.
it. Ebbings, though, does crucially have this blade. It's a deep bob, though, and Ebbings says, I don't
I think deflected the
understand.
Sigma. I think deflected the Sigma projectiles into themselves. Into a
Really?
wall
Is
or
that
something.
how that? Okay.
Yep, because, yeah. Yeah, Zappa going to take out that Bob. Nice and cleanly. Ibbings got that blade ready to go, which is very, very scary if you are the defending team here. Flux comes out from right in your face. And if we're going to take out Cozy, that's
Yeah.
a lot of spam damage taken out here.
That's a lot of that damage gone, especially when Ibix has this blade. Here
Oh.
it comes. Coming out with Ariel. Massive. The blade, though, turning around, it's going to find Toast and that Mortality Field. Moses goes down to it as well. Ibix is cleaving them up. It's a thriller here. It's an 80s thriller. But no,
what a
they're
rock!
actually holding it.
Oh my god, the window.
Ariel on the Sigma might have won this map. This third point for them.
No, I think it all comes down to Toast on that Baptiste. Oh, what a rock! What a rock! Oh my god! I gotta say, although Zero did get a lot of picks then, did a lot of spacing out there. Toast with that, it wouldn't have been possible without Toast's window there on Baptiste. He just spaced them out completely. I think Zero was able to get a couple picks through it. Was able to, weave in and out of it to kind of jewel right in your face. But I think it was definitely a team effort there. I mean, really, really coming through nicely. But that is a pretty good attack from GMU. It's going to be, and I mean, we already saw in the previous map the fact that GMU were able to get it through the entirety of King's Row, and then Mount Overwatch really struggled. So we're going to have to see some miracles coming out on the attack. Possibly Moses on the Hanzo, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm Team Zerial now. That was incredible play on the Sigma. And going forward, I'll be sticking on it, seemingly, and that is going to be a big boon for the attacking team now of Mount Oasis, who have a kind of clear win condition here. They just need to get it to most of third point, not fully all the way to third point. So it's a small thing, but now once you get it to the end, there's no extra rounds. It's the win. So that's going to change the mentality as well. And it's the first time I've ever quoted Sun Tzu in a cast, but Sun Tzu kind of talks about if you corner an opponent, they might be more tougher because they're fighting for the life. Maybe that applies here. I don't know, but Mount Overwatch are in a good place right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Jackson on this Widowmaker. It's gonna be a bit scary for them for hitting their shots on the Sojourn. Already finding some nice damage onto Captain Queenus.
Moses looking for it.
Looking for the supports here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
maybe
out
right in your face, going a bit too aggressive here, getting caught out by Cozy. Toast as well, finding the pick onto Ibinx. Definitely not like Ibinx to be the first pick of the round. That's very unlike them. Nice progression here for the side of Mount Overwatch. Making nice progression here.
Yeah.
Toast already 50% to that nano. The fight is looking slow in general.
Very good stuff here so far for the attacking team. Nice and slow, very pokey right now. That's why it feels a little different to what we've seen earlier in this matchup between these teams. Ebbing's finding a lot of issue right now, really not building up too much blade. Cozy's equal with them. And Moses versus Jackson, the boss battle of the ages.
Oh. Trying to deflect that Widow shot there. Ebbing's getting caught very, very low. And Zero is doing an absolutely fantastic job of keeping control of the payload. It's nearly at the first checkpoint already. Jackson trying to find a shot on the high ground. There's the nano onto Zerial to keep control of this payload. Dueling it out with right in your face. Actually going to flux the other Sigma here. But he finds a rock! Oh, beautiful rock there. But it's not enough. Moses finds that beautiful pick onto Ibinx. Window comes out in a desperate attempt. And they have trans already. And the flux comes out from the side of GMU, and they're able to turn this one. I did not expect that at all. Right in your face.
Wow. Showing
that he's not the only Sigma that's in this match, and really giving Zero a run for their money. Wow.
Yeah, this town ain't big enough for the two Sigs. And right now, right in your face did get a lot more value from their flux than the opposite. Like you said, Anform did build up a very nice transcendence in time. And that's both sides coming out. That's usually what you see between Widows, just to counteract each other. Now, of course, everyone knows where everyone is, and Ebbings gets a little caught out there.
Yeah. So, again, very unlike them. To be able to be caught out at the start of every single fight. Captain Quintus with the Transcendence now. Possibly going to be used to keep this fight alive on point, but it might not even be needed. Moses finds a differential on Jackson. So we're going to get a nice melee finish onto the opposite Sigma there. They're going to be able to find that first point nice and cleanly. and hopefully that nice clean stagger pick onto the Zen as well, which is going to be really nice for them. Getting some stagger picks coming into this next fight.
Yeah, Zerial finding Antform there. That is a very good
Oh, look
stall.
at the deflects off the little gazebo there. Smart.
Nice, nice stuff. Cozy got this blade here for the attack. Toast not quite at the nano yet. Ebbings doesn't have the possibility of a nano. So Ebbings might come out first here with a dry blade. There's not too much to support the dry blade though on the side of GMU.
Yeah, and Mount Overwatch do have a trans up their sleeve as well to just completely negate it, and a flux they could possibly flux the blade as well. They don't
Oh.
use the trans? That's a very odd decision there. I mean, Zero used the flux. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication there. That's very odd. That's very, very odd indeed.
Yeah,
I
I
did not
think
expect
they
that.
thought they had a little bit more time there, but Ebbings really caught them out. Like I say, you can't really prepare for Ebbings when they're on
Yeah.
that next level stuff. Going for a little bit of scout here. Might get Cozy caught out, but I think they're safe enough. Does mean there's a very clear win condition here for the attacking team. That is that nano blade. You need to you need to bring that in. Transdo can stop this flux, sap it with the amp matrix.
And yeah, Cozy's going to
Oh,
get taken out very, very quickly here. Flux as
yeah,
well coming out. Yeah, they really want this momentum here. Time bank dripping down bit by bit. They want to just stagger the ultimates of GMU and just try to build their own in the process so that they just can completely negate them even pushing in the first place.
yeah. When we talked about win condition, you lose that win condition at the start of that fight. Not looking too good for you. Cozy really needs to be careful of getting caught out there, especially when you've got Yanks on the enemy team able to one shot, who is very close to that overclock. Now against the Nanoblade, it's going to be a transcendence from Antform.
Yeah, and is that us? Yeah, the transcendence is going to completely negate the Cozy there, but big anti-nade onto the DPS lineup of GMU here. Pull up not able to find as much as they like to. Trans used aggressively. Nice sleep there onto right in your face. They'll take them out. But Cozy's going very, very, very deep here. Dangerous plays here. Jackson popping that. Overclock finds two.
Wait, was that 2-1?
No. That
With
no
one
no no that
shot?
was no it wasn't. No, I
So
don't think so.
I almost swear it was. I don't know. We'll need to check. But
Jackson?
Jackson, yeah,
Oh,
they've
okay, they
got
count
the
the
point
point.
already,
Okay.
but Jackson kind of coming up big at the end there, building up some ult for themselves. Now moving forward, this is looking good because you don't need to get it all the way here in this third point because the opposing team of GMU did not cap. Now you're wanting to set up a good combination. You've got this flux and overclock. You know they don't have transcendence, so that flux is going to get value no matter what. But if you flux with an overclock, then they're in the air, they're stuck. You can just easily hit those heads. So
Absolutely.
that could be the combo here, or if they just start out with the flux or the overclock, it will be seen. They took too long.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be the wait, was that Ibinks reflecting the ooh, that's rough. Yeah, Moses is gonna be using that overclock
Oh.
early in the fight. They're only left with that flux really coming to the next fight, and Anform might be able to charge up that transcendence in time, because if he can, that is rough. And they're gonna use that window now, and Anform is going to be able to completely spam through it and possibly be able to charge up this transcendence very quickly. They're draining down the time bank for the enemy team here for Mount Overwatch, and it's not looking good,
Yeah.
honestly.
The amount of Overwatch did use that overclock in Moses, which was returned to center. But they do have this flux, but now Anform crucially got the transcendence. So that flux
Yep.
is now no longer going to find that value unless you get that transcendence out first. Jackson coming very close to their own overclock, but here's the nano onto the Sigma, I believe.
Yeah, Nano onto Zero here on the Sigma. He's going to get completely negated, and Jackson on
Oh.
this with the overclock
Oh,
finds a
good.
beautiful hedge onto Moses. Last fight territory now for Mount Overwatch, and
Yeah.
right in your face has the flux. I mean,
You
do I
gotta
need to
love
say
it.
more?
I mean,
Do
the
I need to say
action
more?
is so goddamn accurate with that railgun. It is terrifying, and sure, Halloween's coming up, but I didn't mean to be scared this much. Cozy coming up
Spooky.
to a blade, no nano though. They do have transcendence against for right in your face flux, which is going to come out early. Actually no, he didn't get transcendence in time.
No, he didn't get a chance.
Yeah, he didn't get
10
it in
seconds
time.
remaining on the clock. I don't think they're going to be able to make it. Ibinks getting all these beautiful picks. Team kill for GMU is going to completely secure this. And that'll be it. That is
Oh
the series
yeah,
3-0 for GMU. That's a very disheartening ending here for Mount Overwatch. Not to say though, Gio, that they did
yeah.
not give up a good fight, because there were some fantastic moments from them.
Yeah. Well, there you are, folks. GMU are your winners for tonight, and they are continuing to look clean.
Oh my god,
Shaky
look
at
at this.
times, but my lord.
My
There's
lord.
so many plays this map that could have been play of the game that can be like, outstanding, well done stuff, but like I gotta say, like that was incredible overall by GMU. They play so well together, it's very natural, and those individual skills, like I feel like if I talk about one person, I'll talk about them for too long, and then I need to talk about someone else because this whole pie has so many juicy ingredients.
I absolutely agree with you. I mean, both teams had a lot to offer us, really, and that was some. I just want to say, for both teams, that was some good Overwatch. That was some real good Overwatch. Lots of really cool plays coming out here, and from what I said from the start, you can really see what I mean. The DPS dictate the pace of the fight now. That is just how it works. If you have these more spammier DPS like the Ash and the Hanzo, and the Sojourn even a lot of the
Mhm.
time, you're gonna want to be playing this fight slowly, and you could even see like Ibings, like yes, it was a lot of times Zero was on the payload on their attack, but you had Cozy in the backline on the Widow,
Yeah.
Moses in the backline
Well,
on the Widow, holding that angle, and Ibings just so scared to do anything. You could see it, um, and
yeah, well, we got to
yeah,
shout out these sponsors of course, the Events DC and Game Gen. Without them, none of this would be possible. So, of course,
absolutely.
big shout out there. We're going to go to a brief break right now, but don't go anywhere because after it, we are going to have a player interview. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Want to stay head and shoulders above certain teams, um, and be able to handle the aggressiveness, especially today. The other team was very aggressive and very good macro, which we struggled with sometimes, but we adjusted and managed to get through it.
Yeah, like I said, you guys did 3-0, and like you were saying, I mean, it wasn't exactly, it wasn't a walk in the park, which
Oh
is
yeah.
uh, good to see from both sides still. But, um, looking at the games itself, I saw you guys, I think this was the first week that Kiriko was allowed, and I saw you guys running a bit of her. I saw you guys running a bit of Sombra as well. How do you think these two characters are really fitting in with the meta at the moment?
Um, they're pretty busted. They're pretty broken. Kiriko, I don't think is super duper strong. You can run a BAP instead and get away with it a lot, but Kiriko just enables your team to have no worry about a backline being dove and to just full engage, which is super powerful. And then Sombra is Sombra. She's still really good. Getting those key hacks makes target picking a lot easier, and EMP is still as strong as ever.
Yeah, you guys had a couple of really good EMPs at that. I mean, I think I get on these cart points. It's pretty easy to run 4-man hacks, but I mean, still, you guys were doing really well with that.
Yeah,
Um,
so
but you know, less on the games, I think, and more on you. Are there any characters you'd like to see uh just get more play, or be buffed into a point where they can be played more?
Absolutely. I play Sojourn for our team. I'm not a hit scan player though, by choice. I have to play Sojourn because she is so powerful right now. I am in love with Junkrat and Farah, and I would love to see them see a lot more play time and be in the meta because oh man, I'd love to play those characters.
Yeah, it is kind of fun that at this point, I mean, especially when she came out, but still even lately, it feels like every other map and point is just another fair up, or sorry, so another sojourn point. So uh good to see that we're starting to get some more diversity though, with you guys running a good number of different DPSs all considered.
Yeah.
Um but looking ahead, last thing I got is if you have any, shout outs or anything you'd like to say for anyone watching.
Um, Shout out my mom. I'm pretty sure she's in chat. So hi mom. Thanks for watching us win.
Well, I like that. I always like when people's parents are watching because it's always a welcome thing. Um, with that being said, once again, thank you, Jackson. Excuse me, thank you, Jackson, for jumping on in for this interview, and best of luck in the rest of the tournament.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
With that being said, I believe that'll be it from us here. Uh, I don't think we're going back to casters. So, once again, uh, from the MAEC, sponsored by Game Gym and Events DC, I'd like to say thank you guys for watching. And like Sombra says, turn out the lights.